what's going on, guys? We're here for the stream with special guest Adam Fugitt, UFC fighter. You could say hello, they can hear you.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, this is insane. This works better. All right, so we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to first start off with Adam, him talking about his career, everything else, and then we're going to talk about UFC and a whole lot of other things in the podcast. So let's base it off. Tell the stream a little bit more about you. I know pretty much a bit, but tell the stream.
For sure. Where to start? Basically, just a high school wrestler, man. Did 1 year of college and wasn't the best, student academically. So I didn't really feel like it was in my best interest to go back. But I still kind of had that, just I still had that want and desire to compete. And I found jujitsu after that. And I did a year of that before I was like, I'm going to take my first fight, which ended up didn't happening. It didn't happen because I tore up my knee a little bit in training. So I took a break, got that surgery done, and when I came back, my trainer for jiu-jitsu had migrated with my MMA gym now, and I went in there and I just so happened to show up at a Muay Thai class. I thought it was jiu-jitsu, and so I went into the Muay Thai class. I'd never struck or anything, and um, got just mopped up in that class. The trainer I don't think really liked me all that much.
Yeah.
Um, I was kind of that cocky, arrogant wrestler going in there. I know how to train is kind of the mentality I walked in there with, and
So he paired you with someone who was just super knew
he
everything
paired
about it. Yeah.
he paired me with his best Muay Thai guy at the time,
Oh
which
jeez.
was probably you know probably a blessing in disguise. The guy put it on me pretty good and didn't put me at risk of getting injured, but he definitely let me know this is a different sport. And so after that class, I kind of had a discussion with myself and a couple of the people that I trust around me. And I was like, you might want to get better at that if you think you're going to go fight, MMA. And so I spent 3 years just fighting Muay Thai up and down the West Coast. I fought all the way down as far as Arizona and all the way far up as Vancouver, BC.
Nice.
And I think I ended with 16 amateur Muay Thai fights before I went back to amateur MMA. I took 3 fights there before going pro in MMA, and that was back in I think I went pro back in 2016. Yeah, and then ever since then, just been focused solely on mixed
MMA.
martial arts and trying to fight the best guys possible.
Yep.
You know, I've had my I've had my ups and downs. I've obviously had a couple of losses. Lost to Austin Vanderford in my third, I think it was my third pro fight, um, and
Yeah,
then
he
I
had a
lost.
fight last week. Yeah.
Yeah, then I fought Kalen Hill in LFA on short notice up a weight class. I learned my lesson there. Stick to your weight class.
Yeah.
Don't go with those big guys. And then I took a short notice fight for last weekend, man, and first fight in the UFC, kind of all coming together. And I had 2 years there, pandemic wise, where I didn't even know if I'd fight again. So it was kind of crazy. Just something in my inside me just told me to keep training. And realistically, um, I love the sport. I love training, but it's much more. It's not just a job for me. It's much more of a lifestyle. It's what kind of keeps me grounded and keeps me going each and
Yeah,
every day.
it's something you love.
For
It's
sure,
it's not like a job. It's a passion you have.
100%. I quit my job of 9 years just to do this, and everybody was,
Not
even
aboard with
making
it.
any money. What's
Yeah.
that?
They weren't on board with it.
No, I mean, my mom and dad are very much blue collar workers, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I had been working for a lumber mill for 9 years, and for six of it, I was in management and stuff,
Oh
and
jeez.
kind of working my way up through there. And even my manager at the time, who had been to almost all my amateur fights,
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, they were really supportive. And when I told him, like, man, I'm going to jump both feet in on this thing and I'm really going to go after it. He's like, man, are you sure? Like, are you even making money and this and that? And it's like, it's not so much about the money for me. I
Yeah, just the passion, you know.
just always had this, I don't know, something tell me inside that I could go and do this and this is what I wanted to do. And then I had a good support system around me with like my friends basically tell me, I mean, to me it's a good support system, but they're basically, like, well, stop talking about it, dummy, and just go do it then. So kind of point me in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah. So you said you started MMA in 2016?
Professionally,
Yeah.
16, yeah.
Okay, 2016. And then you had your fight last weekend against who were you fighting?
Michael Morales.
Okay, that's what I thought of. Yeah, he was the 12-0, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that was a good fight. You put a lot of effort into that fight. I was watching it, and it's
for sure.
that whole card that weekend was great. I mean, I kind of have no problems with watching UFC. I love it. I love the sport. I love
Yeah,
connecting with you guys, meeting you guys. It's an honor. It's truly an honor, and I just thought it was a great fight that you had. It was just, I mean, you're gonna have a good one next one, you know.
for sure.
But
No, I knew what it was. I took the fight on 9 days' notice.
yeah,
He was 12-0 or 13-0. Um, I this has been my whole this story my whole career, man. Like, they're always trying to bring me in to be somebody's stepping stone. I've been the skinny fat kid that was never going to do anything in wrestling. I've been the dorky looking guy that in Muay Thai that everybody wanted to fight, because
yeah,
why not? And then, it's always been the next speed bump, right?
mm-hmm.
But I don't shy away from fighting anybody.
I mean, look where you're
You
at
know,
now. You're in the
yeah,
UFC. You
for
proved
sure.
a ton of people wrong. So it's like,
I
man,
mean, it's honestly, it's crazy. It was a wild ride. Ever since I got the call, it was a wild ride. It happened on a Wednesday, and it's just been so fast paced from there. And yeah, no,
yeah,
I don't really have any regrets. I have some wishes. I wish I would have got at least, like, I think, because I really don't like to do anything longer than a 6 week camp, which I
yeah,
think that's too much. 4 weeks, I really feel like I can be 100% ready to go in 4 weeks.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, so, I mean, on 9 days' notice, we were kind of told prior to stay ready, which, was nice to kind of get that heads up. But at the same time, when you don't have somebody in front of you, it's kind of hard to just stay, in that fight camp grind. For me,
yeah,
the fight camp is really the fight. The fight is the reward. I get to go out there and show everybody
yeah.
what I've been working on,
You get,
and just that's my environment. I got to be me out there.
yeah,
So
you get all those weeks to prepare for, and you're kind of putting all that work off in there, so you could be prepared for when you got that fight in the following week.
for sure, yeah,
Honestly, with all you guys getting like your 9 day notice, I had a similar talk with another fighter who actually fights heavyweight in the UFC. Um, he had a week notice,
yeah,
so it's just like that's all I've heard. I hear like, oh yeah, I had like a week notice. I've never heard like, oh, I've had like a month. It's just
right.
like you get on offer and it's just in a couple days and it's just like shoot, now I gotta like work my ass off to get up in there. But
When they come a calling, you just get ready.
yeah, what are your thoughts about your division in the UFC?
I really feel like it's probably the toughest, most well-rounded division in the sport.
I
You know,
definitely second that. I
you
definitely
know,
second that.
I don't think that this is no shade whatsoever. Kamara Usman is like he's the man, and I honestly think that he could go up to 85
Yeah,
and probably take that belt up there. But we just don't really have that, like, I don't want to say superstar, because
Yeah, Kamara
I
Uzman
love,
is.
yeah, I love fighters, man. I'm a fight fan, and so like, Kamara Usman, he's not, an over the top like, flamboyant, run your mouth kind of
No,
fighter. So he doesn't get all this hype behind him. He goes in there, he does his business, he goes
yeah,
home.
super
You know,
chill about everything. All of his
100%.
interviews. Yeah, that guy
You
is.
know, so he's not like this. He's not in the talk of like this superstar kind of upper echelon portion. But that to me doesn't take away from the fact I think that honestly if he can make 55, I think that he would rule that division. If he went up to 185, I think he could rule that one. That's just kind of how I see him. He's definitely, I think, the most like gifted. Well, not gifted. I think he's the most well-rounded mixed martial artist in those three divisions.
Yeah,
And
he's
I freaking
honestly.
really love Charles. I like Charles Oliveira. Don't get me wrong. That guy's
Yeah,
freaking nuts too.
I think going off Adesanya, I think him against Uzman would be hell of a fight.
Yeah, I think it would be too. I think that
I mean, they're
you know,
both Nigerian, right? And just
yeah,
think it's like, I mean, they're friends. They're good friends, but I think it would be a hell of a fight.
it
Nothing
would
against
be.
them. They're both chill. I mean, Adesanya does like to get a little cocky, with all his.
He's got the superstar vibe, right?
Yeah, I
He's
mean, that
you know,
walkout he had against Canoeir, of the Undertaker walkout, that was
yeah,
just like crazy. I was just like, oh, like I didn't know you can pull something off like that. Like I've never
right.
seen like a crazy walkout, but I mean, yeah,
He,
with what you said with welterweight being like the most, like the hardest division in UFC, I totally agree. There's like I was reading, on Instagram the other day, seeing like how many undefeated fighters there are right now. You got Ian Gary, Morales, Chiamev. I don't know the other two. I know there's two more. There's like a ton of fighters. I think Uzman and Chiamev could be a good fight. I don't.
Chimaev, you're talking
Yeah,
about
Chimaev. Yeah,
Hamzat?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think he'll come up short. That's the thing. Like it'd be a good fight, but I think he'll come up short
right.
because I think Uzman is just like up there. I think
Yeah,
I think he's gonna decide to go up. Because if he's doesn't really get the best competition, he's gonna want to go up.
if Pereira comes in and beats um he comes in and beats Izzy, then you'll see Usman go up, I think.
Yeah. Oh, so that's a fight that's gonna happen.
281, yeah. It's gonna be at 281.
When it's 281 is
November.
November. Oh, that's gonna be a great. I don't. I mean, the man's 6-1 and he already gets a title shot.
He's also got two knockout victories over Izzy.
Oh, really?
I believe it's two knockouts, yeah, in K1.
Oh, geez. I thought that
Yeah.
Sean Strickland fight was. God, there's no defense.
He literally walked right into Pereira's favorite technique, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch Pereira in glory, that check hook, man, that's his that's his business, man. That's what he lives and dies with.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that was
And now
something.
and you got to keep an eye out for this one too. Cedric Doumbé is now fighting in UFC at 170.
Oh, really?
Ex Glory welterweight champion.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. So that's gonna be another person added into the group. So that's gonna make
Yeah.
it a lot harder.
I mean, he's gonna bring the striking for sure. I don't know what his grappling's like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the welterweight division, I feel like you got to kind of have both. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what he can do being such an elite level striker.
This is a huge question, but who's a fighter that you always want to fight in that division for welterweight?
Man,
I know, tough question.
yeah, I haven't really thought about that in a minute. It's been more like whoever they call me with, let's go. Um,
You never know. Like some people who want to fight somebody, they sometimes get it. Like one of the guys I did a stream with, he called out a fighter, just saying like, "Let's do this. It'd be a fun fight," and
hmm
he got it. It
right.
was Jared Vandera versus Chase Sherman. Happened a couple weeks ago.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah, usually sometimes it happens. But I mean,
Hmm. I haven't really thought about it, and just like I guess fanboying, I would definitely would love a shot to fight like somebody like a Jorge Masvidal or something. I think that would be
ooh,
interesting. But that's obviously he's upper echelon, like
yeah.
some bottom feeder like me, gatekeeper like me is not going to get that shot. But
I mean, you also got your shot with Morales.
yeah, for sure. I'd love to have that one back too on a fight camp.
Yeah,
I'm a sore loser, so I want that one back.
I mean, you fought pretty well. I thought it was a great fight. I mean,
um,
usually on
I
these
definitely
debuts, they put you with someone that's like a good fighter. Or I know a couple people who had their debuts and they came up short, and they still had a fantastic fight.
Oh yeah, and I think, and that I'm liking kind of the way the sport's going right now with that, because like as late as 5 years ago, and as recently as probably this last year, the sports really seem to have gotten away from like the fact that you have to have this like undefeated record, which
Yeah,
just isn't realistic. You get a lot of guys padding records facing guys with either even or
yeah,
negative records. You see a lot of that, and then they finally get tested by somebody legitimate, and like, oh, well, how this guy squeak through? It doesn't look as good as his record says.
yeah. I mean,
So I'm kind of glad that that's kind of changing now. And that losing is just part of the sport. You don't you never just lose, right? You never just win. You always got to go in there and try to be learning something and trying to get better. So
yeah.
um,
I
it
see.
sucks to lose. I'm a terrible loser, but I definitely see some stuff in that fight like, oh, I got to fix this. I got to improve here, and I'm definitely like anxious to get back in there and show like I can continue to grow and continue to improve.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. Um, Going off on that, I mean, with records, I think everybody who's like a fan of UFC bases off, oh, this guy's gonna lose because the other guy has a better record. It's like, no,
Right.
there's always an upset in UFC. There's
Yeah.
always an upset. Like
Yeah.
me and my dad does not watch UFC at all. Doesn't know a dang thing about it. But we watched don't know which one it was. It was the one with Adesanya Kanawir. We watched the Jalen Turner fight where he had his fight against some guy who had like a huge winning record. Guy won in 45 seconds.
Right.
Jalen Turner, and he was 11-5,
Right.
and it was just like you never know. And
Anything can happen with those little gloves on, man, and like, um, yeah, just anything can happen, and that's something in the Kalen Hill fight that I had where I had to learn that. It's just you know there's very little room for error when you got such little gloves on, and
yeah,
I've taken and I'm not proud of it, but I've taken a lot harder shots, and the one that Kalen Hill hit me with, like he's by no means could you call that a power shot just by the way that he was in the air, midair, coming down off of a failed flying knee, and he hit me with a little hook coming
yeah,
down, and it's literally Boss Root. I heard Boss Root say it a long, long time ago, back when I was just getting into the sport. It's the shot that you don't see that puts you down.
Hmm.
There's just something happen when there's something that happens in the brain when you get hit and you didn't see it. It just makes
Yeah,
it that much easier.
I totally agree with that. I feel like with unexpected hits, the fighter doesn't really see it coming. It's
For
like
sure.
there's one guy's throwing like this, and then you don't see the one come under or above. You're
Yep,
down.
100%.
Yeah.
So it's like, in this sport, it's unlike any of the other ones. It's anything can happen at any time.
Yeah. Going off of three, this last week's fight, what was your whole experience with it? Like entering the octagon, fighting. What was the whole experience?
Man, honestly, it was just it's a cliche, but it was just a dream come true, really. But then saying that, I'm also like, I'm hungry to get back there and to prove like I, I at least want to be fighting, until I'm like 35, 36 years old, in the UFC. And if I don't have my shot to do that, if the UFC decides in a fight or two, like, oh, this guy's, not hacking it for us or whatever, then I'll, my experience with fighting will probably be done. I'll transition into coaching or whatever. That's what I've
Yeah.
been thinking. But I definitely want to fight until I'm like, in my, 35, 36 years old and do it in the UFC. That's what I want to do. And I want to get back there and prove to everybody like I belong there. But as far as this last week, like I said, it was just like a dream come true, really. I thought that there was going to be a lot more nerves, but I got the call on a Wednesday and really um, the nerves all kind of like came at me and subsided in that like 24 hours after I got the phone call. It was really weird. Like I expected them to ramp up again and really hit me when I arrived in Dallas, and I expected
Yeah.
them to hit me in some of the interviews and everything. Like, I'm not saying that they weren't there. They weren't non-existent. I'm definitely a human, but like they didn't last long, and it was just like there was no time to really like settle into being nervous. It was so
Yeah.
fast paced and so like just pedal to the metal that you had no time to get nervous.
Yeah.
So it was just really odd. Definitely, I like to think that I live in the moment as a fighter and just as a human overall, just try to live in the moment. But that was the most like living in the moment I've ever done, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. What did you think of Morales as a fighter?
I mean, you know, he's super athletic. He's definitely like a bit of a freak athlete. It's not like we communicated or talked. There's definitely a language barrier there, or at least I
Yeah.
don't know if he speaks English or not. To me, he's just another competitor, and like I said, I would if they called me tomorrow to fight him again, like I would step in and go.
Yeah.
It's definitely he's a puzzle that I wish I would have had a little bit more time to prepare and figure out. But
Yeah.
as far as that, I felt like I did a really good job of just kind of frustrating him.
Mhm.
I think he's used to guys coming in, getting hit, and just kind of going away.
Yeah.
And I for 2.5 rounds, I really like stuck to my guns and did the right things
Mhm.
up until I got
Yeah.
clipped and knocked down. I was keeping my it's so weird that I talk to my students and that my clientele a lot about it. It's throwing these punches and making sure you're always got your two defensive check-ins. One hand at the face, one shoulder up when you're throwing a punch, not overextending yourself. Your reach is what your reach is, and it never pays off to like try to overextend. And um, that's what I ended up doing in that third round is instead of, abiding by my rules. I finally broke those and got caught.
Yeah.
I don't know what the judges' scorecards would have said. I've went back and watched the fight like a handful of times now, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the judges' scorecards would have said, because I kind of get mixed reviews off of the commentary. I know that he was the favorite, and they have the commentators kind of have a narrative to play. But at one point I heard that he had like, it was punch count. He had landed two times as many strikes as I had landed. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. And so I went back and was really like trying to watch it and see. And, I definitely ate some shots that I'm kind of upset about. I let them get through my defense. But then there was some good shots that they called out, like, oh, if you could ate that one. And I literally block it. And the in between replays come up, and there it is. I got my hand up, I'm parrying, and I'm, just barely missing. And so, yeah, it was kind of interesting. I don't know what would have happened if it would have went to the judges. You never want to leave it to the judges. And I always try to finish fights, and it just so happened to kind of hurt me this time. I was trying too hard.
Yeah. When you were talking about the favor of him being the favor, I actually don't think he was the favorite to win. I think you were.
You think so?
Because I was looking at a lot of on a lot of betting and other favorites and stuff, and you were up there against him.
Really? Because I could have swore my buddy texted me and said you're the 4-1 underdog, man.
Yeah,
I fought back.
I saw you being a favorite on. I was on one the betting thing and one also Wikipedia, but also the betting. You were favored.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish you would have screenshotted that. I would have loved to see that. Oh, that would have been great.
I might have screenshotted it. Hold up.
That had to have been in between the first and the second round or something.
No, the day of. You were favored to win it.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have it though. No, I don't think I do. Darn it. But I did actually have it. Yeah, no. But, yeah. You were definitely the favorite on the app. I saw it and I was just like, oh, shoot. I'm looking at this guy's record. Oh, he's 12-0, and he said Adam has the advantage, apparently, on. But it was still a good fight.
Yeah.
Still a good matchup. You showed him that you were there to freaking fight, not to step away from him. And
yeah,
I mean, if I was him and I had a 13-0 record, and there's a guy who was not because he's used to people walking away, and then someone's not backing down, piss him off,
Yeah.
But
that's never been my style, man. Just like to be in their face, and
yeah,
I like to push the pace also, and yeah, I'm not one for the judges' scorecards or anything, but
yeah, it
would have been interesting to see what would have happened if it would have went to the scorecards, what they would have said. So
yeah, going off of just training and stuff, do you usually, so the person you're fighting, do you usually watch their film and see what they do?
So, yes and no, right? So up until not this last fight with Morales, but the one previous that I took in LFA against Solomon Renfro, I hadn't ever really watched a lot of tape. And when my teammates came up and asked me, he's like, hey, have you seen what this guy does? And I said, no, I'm just going to focus on what I do. And that's all I've ever done is I'm just going to focus on me. The best Adam Fugitt on that day can beat anybody is kind of what I felt like. But he talked to me and he's convinced me to watch some tape on him. And so I kind of started that, not this last one, but prior. And it rolled over to this one. We watched some Michael Morales footage. I actually caught both of his fights by just accident. I watched his Dana White Contender Series fight live, and I watched the his first UFC fight live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had like when I got the call, I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Holy crap! I've actually seen this guy fight before. I
Yeah.
watched both of his fights." So it was kind of interesting. It was kind of neat to know that I'd be fighting somebody I already watched. He's Morales is super into that cross. He uses his jab really well to set that up. Um, Honestly, one of the Hail Mary moves that I missed was him supermaning off the fence, and I wanted to hit him with a spinning elbow, and I just did not line it up right, and then he
Yeah.
never really the Superman off the fence again after I threw that. So I tried it too soon.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not a fighter at all. I mean, I've I'm getting into MMA. I think it's really fun, but I feel like if it's a little hard if you're the guy's doing like a cage Superman and you're trying to spin back fist. I don't
Yeah,
know like how it's kind of like 50-50 like who's going to catch that, you know?
100%. And so um, one of my amateur Muay Thai fights, I actually landed a spinning elbow on a guy, and that's what he tried to hit me with was a Superman punch. It wasn't off the ropes or anything; it was out in the open. But
Mhm.
that's actually where I landed. I ended up KOing him with that, and
Yeah.
so I just kind of try to replicate that. And if you I can see it in my head now, and I can kind of see it on the because I can go watch the replay of the fight. I can kind of see I was just a little bit too far to my right, which would be his left. I needed to be more like on the 50-50, more center line because I got to step across his body. The
Mhm.
elbow actually hit him right in the left pec when he came off the fence. It hit him right here, and
Instead of
just
the
wasn't.
head, yeah, you wanted to get him in the face, yeah.
I just didn't get that step across like I needed.
I feel like it was also him being leveraged, of him being on the cage and jumping up instead
Right.
of your last fight when you said with that guy you got him with the back fist when he jumped up. I mean he's on the same level as you. The guy jumped from the cage on you.
Yeah, the trajectory was a little different,
Yeah,
definitely for sure. But yeah, that was one of those Hail Mary moves I saw in studying the tape. I'm like, oh man, this guy really likes to do this. Okay, let's see if we
yeah.
can't make him pay, a little bit.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it didn't work out, but I don't know. That would have been cool if it had, but maybe it gives somebody some ideas in the future against him, or
Yeah.
maybe he looks back and goes, "Oh man, that's probably not a smart idea." I mean, I know we've seen some knockouts from those. I
Mhm.
think Anthony Pettis actually knocked out Stephen Thompson with one of those off the fence.
Oh,
So I
really?
mean, you got to be careful with an athletic guy when their backs to the fence for sure, because they can do stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like putting the pressure on somebody has never really. Um, it's only ever done good things for me. You know,
Mhm.
somebody fighting off the back foot isn't as dangerous as somebody trying to be pressing forward.
Yeah. Totally
I
agree.
honestly didn't expect him to concede the forward movement so easily, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought we'd be kind of set in the center, um, basically two bulls trying to take the center of the octagon, and that's what would happen. But
I feel like a more, like you said, he was a fast guy. I feel like a more fast guy is gonna go for something like that, going on a
right,
cage more so being in the center, because
yeah,
you see like when Gabe Green fought Ian Gary, that was just all that there's just all like corner and Gary's just quick, and
yep,
when he has combos, there's nothing you can really do about it because it's him just throwing and kicking and kicking. It's just like that's kind of what fast people are going to go for. Something they could do super, super fast and quick to catch the other fighter off guard.
100%. He was definitely going to look to use that athleticism and that quick first step to put some punches on me, and then yeah, he was that was kind of his whole game plan. That first quick step, and hopefully catch me and get me to back up so he can continue. If I would have backed up, he could have continued for a longer combination. He could have hit an angle and then threw a couple more punches. But that's something else I've been really good at in my career is, when somebody it's good first step. I more or less like to plant myself and go forward. I have a lot of trust in some of my dirty boxing and my Muay Thai clinch and my wrestling. Really, I have confidence there. So if there's any way I can get into the hips, get into an underhook, which happened in the first round against him, he got too close. I dug that underhook out. He wasn't responsible with where his feet were at, and I inside tripped him. So that's another part of my game that I don't like to go backwards. There was a little habit I developed in wrestling. My coach would always yell at us if we you guys aren't you aren't the best wrestlers in the world, but darn it, you're gonna go forwards.
Yeah.
All
right.
So that's kind of where I developed that.
So let's go on to another topic if you want. Is there
anything
you want to talk about, or any topic you want to talk about?
Oh man, when you told me I had to come up with some topics, I was trying to go off in my head.
I could also go UFC, so we could talk about fights, upcoming fights, talk about
for sure.
Or
what's some of the throw me out some other topics that you asked some different guys. It doesn't have to be UFC related.
I've done a lot of streams with basketball players, UFC fighters, football players. So we're either talking about their team,
for sure,
their team, why they went to the school, their coach, what they think about the whole coaching staff, everything like that. We talk about other sports, like what they're into, and then some people do gaming, like they want to do a stream. That's my other concept. So we either play a game behind the whole screen and do that. But other than that, we could talk about sports team. We could talk about UFC fights, whatever you want.
Yeah, man.
Really doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not the biggest video gamer, that's for sure.
Totally fine.
I gotta get my video game stuff updated. I'm still on the old PS4, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Nice, really.
Yeah, I just don't want to upgrade to it, and it's kind of, if you're streaming, you can just put a whole capture card onto it, and it's just you don't have to spend the extra $500 for PS4.
Yeah. No, I don't. I definitely don't have that cash just for video games right now. Yeah, man. Well, Eugene, Oregon, we only have kind of one professional team around here, and that's the Portland Trailblazers. So,
are you a big fan of the team?
Oh man, I love the Blazers, man. Especially Damian Lillard. That dude's.
I was gonna ask if he's your favorite player.
Yeah, man, he's a stud, dude. Yeah. Just, I was gonna put him in a quote. I'm not good at the social media game either. But I was gonna put it. What's that?
Were you gonna do it on Twitter or something?
Twitter or Instagram or something, but
I think the best.
Like I said,
is Twitter.
Is it?
Yeah,
I'll have to do that.
If you want to try to get him to reply or something, you kind of put a tweet out there and you type in. There's a 50-50 over reply to it.
Right. Huh. Okay. Well, my next fight, when I get my call for my next fight, I'm gonna put that on there. Then I was just gonna basically tweet something about he talks about not running from the grind, and I've been told quite regularly from different just different fans here in town, and then my prior management before I got with Iridium, they were kind of pushing me to move and go to a bigger market to promote myself a little bit more. But I've always just wanted to, if I was going to make it to the UFC or these bigger promotions, I was going to do it from home. And, there's been some good fighters that have made it out of Eugene or they've were born and raised here, but they went away. Evan
Yeah.
Dunham, Colby Covington,
Oh, wow.
Chelsana was from the university, and he moved back up to Portland.
Yeah, I'm
Brett,
familiar with Covington.
yeah, yeah, not everybody's favorite guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I know. The last guy I had a stream with, he's middleweight. He's not
hmm
a big fan of Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I know a bit about basketball. I'm from Chicago, so I'm a
Okay.
Bulls fan. Um,
Nice.
yeah, they're looking pretty promising this year. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they did good last year. They made the playoffs. Bulls never really make the playoffs, so it's like, you know,
No, you guys definitely had a good year, and it just sucks you guys got had that injury bug hit. I can
hmm
definitely
yeah,
sympathize with that. It seems like anytime Portland gets things kind of rolling their way, we get hit with that. So
that
it
happens
sucks.
to the Bulls a lot. It really happens to them a lot. It's just like
Yeah.
they're on a roll. DeRozan was playing phenomenal, gets injured,
Yep.
or and then Caruso starts playing good, he's out, and then
Yep.
this is like,
Lonzo,
yeah, we
you
don't
guys
really
went.
we don't really have good luck. I mean, in
Oh,
Chicago sports as of right now, I mean the Sox are promising, but Cubs not not really. I mean, we're going through a new rebuilding, and they just got rid of. They're getting rid of Contreras and Hap. Those are our only two really big players, and
right.
don't know where
Didn't the
that's
Cubs
gonna.
just win it like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
They did. So kind of what I can go
They
off of
broke the
that.
curse.
I can go off of that if you want me to. But so what happened is they had a whole team win the World Series, and then a lot of people started leaving. Zobrist got traded. Um, then they had Chris Bryant got traded, I think, last year,
They just
maybe.
can't afford those guys, so they trade them.
I don't. I think maybe. But Bryant's actually been having a slump, and it's not good. He got
Right.
traded to the Giants, and the Giants got rid of him,
Oh
and
wow.
he got picked up by the Rockies, and he's not playing good at all. And Rizzo was our first
Yeah.
baseman. Rizzo went to the Yankees.
Oh
Yankees
wow.
are phenomenal this year. They're gonna win the World Series no matter what. Even though they just got a really good player for their team and they don't really need it. So
Yeah.
it's like Rizzo's playing good, and then Baez went to Detroit Tigers, and then so one more. Kyle Schwarber went to, but yeah, Baez is playing good, but Schwarber went to the Phillies. They're playing good. Rizzo was on a slump, but Rizzo's doing good now. So it's like,
Right.
but for us, our only hope was Contreras and Hap, and then now they're both gone.
Just total rebuild.
Yeah, Contreras' last game, I think, for the Cubs, he hit a home run. So it's like, I mean, and on a good note.
Yeah.
But
Now I'm curious as to you know what will happen with the Blazers this year, because just to go back, because they kind of went through that rebuilding,
mm-hmm.
but they didn't tear it down like the Cubs are obviously tearing it
They
down.
tore that whole thing down. There's
You know.
nobody from that old team that is still there. I think
Right.
maybe Kyle Hendricks. I don't know if he's still there. They definitely should get rid of him because I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be mean. I don't think he's good for. I don't think he wants to be on a team where he's
Right.
not with anyone. He used to
It's
play
it's
with.
definitely hard. Like I said, I love Damian Lillard. So when I saw us going towards rebuild mode, I was like, where are they going to go with this?
I mean, I think they're gonna keep him. It's just
They,
they got rid of
we,
McCollum.
yep, they traded McCollum, they traded Rocco, they traded Powell. They just gave him an extension, which they didn't even need to give him an extension, but they gave him an extension, which makes him, one of the highest paid players in the league. They gave Anthony Simons an extension.
He's good.
They re-signed Nurk. So they kind of, instead of a rebuild, they kind of just pulled off this retool. But I'm looking at the team right now, like, and I mean, I'm a diehard Blazers fan, but I don't see this team being better than some of the previous teams that were kind of first round exits, and but that being said, we got Chauncey Billups. We don't have Terry Stotts coaching us no more, so maybe Billups can bring the dog out of some of these guys, because Stotts was definitely a player's coach. He kind of let guys just do what they wanted to do, and especially in like the professional league, the NBA, it's hard to, I think, as a coach to really like try to force these guys to do anything outside of what they're comfortable, because they're such high paid athletes. So, I mean, what they're doing obviously has to be good, good enough. And, but Phillips, man, he just has a different kind of like feel about him. He's a player's coach, but he sets a bar, and you don't meet that bar, like you might find yourself, riding the pine, which I hope he keeps that, kind of going.
I think it's a good idea that they have Chauncey Billups, because not only he was a former NBA player, I think he'd be a fantastic coach. And
for sure,
I mean, that's perfect. I mean, with the Bulls, I know this year was kind of looking scary, just because they were going to get rid of. It looked like Levine was going, and Levine was their best player. And Levine, I think it's a little, DeMar DeRozan, Levine, who's better? I think DeRozan had a phenomenal year, but I think both of them are just amazing players. But they ended up re-signing him, which is great, but a crap ton of money. But they brought in Andre Drummond, who's a player who's getting swapped from every team. So it's like, is he going to be good for the Bulls, or is he not? I think the Bulls still have Vucevic, and Vucevic is going to play power forward probably. And Drummond. I mean, Vucevic played power forward when he was on Orlando.
Did he?
Yeah, mainly center, but he's more of a power forward center player. But him being, I think that's what they're gonna do. Put him at power forward or rotation off Drummond. But I doubt that.
That'll be interesting. I never saw Vucevic play power forward. I know that he's an athletic, he's an athlete. He's an offensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
His defense has always been questionable.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But Drummond, I used to, especially when I saw that Detroit was trying to trade him, I was kind of like wanting the Blazers to go after him. Like, I like Nurk, but the injuries, he's just,
mm-hmm.
the injuries just seemed like they really set him back,
Yeah.
And then the passing of his grandmother really messed with him too. But I was wanting the Blazers to kind of go after Drummond, but he seems kind of like Hassan Whiteside, like he's a better version of Hassan Whiteside. And what I hate about watching Whiteside play is he's just a stat filler. Like, you know what? Like, at the end of the night, like, his stats will be there. You're like, oh, what the hell? Why did I think so badly about how he played? And it's just he refuses to do the dirty work. He will definitely go out and chase his stats. Whiteside used to get average 3 or 4 blocks a game, and every one of those blocks just led to another possession for the team.
Yeah.
Which was just so frustrating.
He went downhill, didn't he?
Majorly, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was just like, I never hear that guy anymore. It's just when I was just like, oh shoot, like, I mean, I play NBA from time to time, and I'm just like, man, this dude's in 79 overall. He used to be like 87, high player, averaging, just like, where do they go?
Oh yeah, no man, he just fell off, and everybody figured out his whole spiel, man. It was, he's gonna go out and he's gonna get his blocks per game, and Um, yeah, he's all about putting somebody on a poster, and
Yeah.
that's about it. He doesn't do the dirty thing or the little things. And that's what I'm kind of excited about. Again, I don't really know how they're going to do because on paper they don't look as good as some of our previous teams that were like first round exits. But like Gary Payton the second, he's a dog, man. Like
Oh yeah.
he plays so much bigger than he is. Josh Hart, he's a guy you just want on your team because he does all the little things. He sets screens. He chases after loose balls. He
Mm-hmm.
he just does all these little things. He gets the boards, and so I'm excited for those two guys. I'm excited to see what our returning players like Trenton Watford, who had a great year after being I think he was a second round pick, or maybe he was undrafted.
I think he was
I think no,
undrafted.
he was undrafted, and
Yeah.
so he got his opportunity, which was awesome. So I'm
Um.
curious to see how he does. Shaden Sharp, this mystery dude that I've like been trying to research and figure out like who is this dude, and
Yeah.
everything I'm picking up is he went to call at Kentucky early and planned a red shirt, and then in the midst of this red shirt was getting like a lot of like inquiries, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he just like there's already these teams like looking at me like I won't be the first overall pick, but I
Yeah.
I just jump in there and let's go to work.
Going off
So
of so the Trailblazers, they got Gary Payton.
yeah, they got Gary Payton the second.
When did that happen?
That was free agency. I'm sitting here waiting. We're supposed to. If you ever have any players from the Bulls that are, supposedly supposed to be traded to Portland, you just reach out and I'll tell you if it's true or not.
Yeah.
I don't
Dude,
want to say
that's a really good freaking trade if they got Gary Payton. Like
he
going
he
off of
was
a reign, and now he played really good on the Warriors. You know.
yeah, no, they were Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond apparently were all like saying, "Hey, we need to bring this guy back. We need to get him on a deal." And I think the only thing that they could offer him was their mid-level player exception, their
Mm-hmm.
MLE. And Portland came back and gave him like 2 mil more than that. So I think we gave him 8 mil a year,
And they were giving
and
him six.
they were giving him like 6, and Golden State refused to budge on it, and we
Jeez,
landed him. So I mean,
that's
it's
good.
crazy.
That's
It's
good.
crazy. We'll see what happens.
I honestly, in my opinion, I think the Warriors need to get rid of Draymond Green. That's just my whole spiel. But
For somebody that I value Draymond, with what he does as the defensive anchor and kind of as a vocal leader on a team, I think he's coming to that point in his career where he's trying to get his money, right?
yeah,
I
mm-hmm.
don't think he's worth a max contract. He's, you know,
Just trying to yeah.
dude, you're really good, man. And I'm not trying to downplay you, but you're much more of a role player, I think, than what you think you are. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's a vocal leader. He's a leader of a championship team. So of
Yep.
course he thinks he's way more than of a contributor than he really is. But like I think he really needs to like take a step back and look at it. But then again, he's probably taken, that Warriors team has been known to take pay cuts. Those players have for years. So I can understand why he's just trying to get his money before it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, going off of all the sports teams and stuff like Chicago, I think it's just like, you know, I'm a huge soccer fan too. So I'm kind of like all around. Just because, I
Yeah,
mean, I want to get this person on here. I watch sports so I can, like, like,
for sure.
know about you guys. And so it's just like you guys talking to me and I don't know a clue what you're talking about. That's not good. So it's like,
You got to
um,
have some information.
yeah, some information. So going off of soccer, Chicago Fire has never been a good team at all, and they're still
Right.
not. They they picked up a player who played at Liverpool, and Liverpool's a massive club,
Yeah.
and he came to the Fire, the MLS, at 30, and usually players do not go to the MLS at 30 if they're still in their prime.
Yeah, that is kind of odd, right?
But I mean, his name's Shaqiri, Giordano Shaqiri, but they are in dead last place even with him, and they have a
Oh, no.
16-year-old goalkeeper who is absolutely incredible. But they've won their past 4 games, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
But I
they're
mean,
making us steps in the right direction, it sounds like.
yeah, I also think it was a good idea of them getting a 16-year-old goalkeeper who's just like, this guy just comes out of nowhere. They're like, who the heck is this kid? He's playing
Right.
for an MLS team. Usually MLS teams don't have a foreign goalkeeper who's 16. They usually have older
Huh.
players because that's kind of how
Yeah.
the MLS goes off of.
Yeah, isn't that where David Beckham kind of finished out his soccer
LA
career with?
Galaxy.
Yeah, the Galaxy. The Timbers up in Portland, I think, have won it a couple of times.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I I don't pay attention too much to soccer, but
Mm-hmm.
and I played soccer in high school,
You have
so
yeah, Portland's a good team.
yeah, we got the Timbers. So I've heard some stuff about them. I guess we don't only have one sports team. I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Portland Timbers. You guys are are a pro team too.
Yeah,
Uh,
but yeah, going off of that, I think like all players that are like in their like getting way too old. Well, not getting old, just getting old in soccer, and
right.
they go to the MLS. It's kind of just how it goes, you know.
Yep.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic being like the king himself, being one of the best strikers, but not better than Ronaldo and Messi. But being like a really well-known striker, he goes to the LA Galaxy at 34.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is too easy for me. Goes back
Collecting the.
goes back to AC Milan,
Oh
and he's
no.
still playing at I think 36, 37 years old. Like,
It's too easy for me.
yeah,
Oh no.
he's there was a scene that a lot of people have seen where they're talking about they ask him an interview, and there's this guy who plays, I don't know, I should know his name, it's not good. He's a younger player. They're like to Zlatan, and he was just like to him, what do you think of this player, you know? And he's just like, he's a well known, like they're like to him, he's a well known, phenomenal player. And then he's like, all right, how old is he? And they say he's like 26. And he's like, okay. And this is what he says. It's like really a good quote. I mean, it's kind of him flaming the guy, but it's also like he goes, where was I at 26? And they go, and playing for Milan, playing for Man United. He's like, exactly. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cocky guy, but like,
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's the truth, you know.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of, it's not really being cocky. It's just kind of spitting the truth.
Yeah, it's just like, I think, man,
It's borderline, right? It's
yeah.
borderline cockiness, but
I thought, I'm like, you don't have to do the guy like that.
no, definitely no.
It's just like, it's like this guy's thinking, oh, Zlatan's like one of my idols. Man's just flaming him. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess I'm not cool with them. But I
Well, maybe
mean,
that 16-year-old. I mean, dang.
yeah, I think he's Slovenian. I'm gonna double check that. I think he is. Chicago Fire keeper. Yeah, I think he's Slovenia. Slonina, that's his name. Okay, so he's on loan. All right, I thought.
He's on
Okay,
loan, so they
yeah.
get to borrow him for a year.
So the
Oh,
Fire are borrowing him. He's actually from Chelsea, so that explains a lot.
okay.
And Chelsea is a top-notch team. I absolutely hate Chelsea just because I'm an Arsenal fan and they're rivals. They're right next door to each other. So it's kind of like anything I hear about Chelsea, I'm like, shut the hell up. I hate the club.
Oh
It's
no.
just like you're naturally born to not like them at all.
Right.
And it actually made things a lot better because they actually played a couple weeks ago in the Florida Cup. Chelsea lost 4-0 to Arsenal, so it's just
Nice.
like I was
It's always
so
nice when your
freaking
team wins.
yeah, especially to your rival, the
Yeah.
rival club. Like Chelsea beats Arsenal all the time,
Yeah.
and it's just like like seeing this because Arsenal has brought in young players this year, phenomenal young players, and it's like
Right.
going into that, it's just like usually they don't really play good at the start, but the guy
Yeah.
we just got scored first goal. I'm like, let's go, like
Yeah.
finally, because we've had a really shitty couple years. We got a new coach. We were in dead last after 6 games, and we're usually in 4th place.
Yeah.
Like in a 20th place, not good at all. And
No,
going
not at
towards
all.
relegation. But now they didn't sack him, which was really surprising. But now we're doing incredible, so it's like good to see, you know. But you want to do one more topic before we finish up?
Yeah, man.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go. You want to go in the UFC? Just fights. Yeah.
Okay. We can do
Sweet.
fights for sure.
Okay. Sweet. Um, what did you think of not the card last week that you fought in, but the England card, London?
Let's see.
If you want me to say the fights, I can. I know it off the top of my head.
The Patty fight happened, didn't it?
Patty versus Levitt. Molly McCann versus I don't know, but she destroyed whoever she fought. It was just
Yeah,
first round.
those two seem to be kind of like because they're teammates, right? They're kind of a dynamic
They're
duo.
kind of best friends.
Yeah, they're kind of a dynamic duo on a card, man. They keep
Oh
fighting on the
yeah,
cards, and they
they
keep
they go everywhere.
wrecking it. So
I mean, they've been
that,
friends for a while, and I mean, I watched Patty's YouTube and stuff, and
yeah,
just like seeing them being friends, just like I think it's incredible, you know, seeing
right.
those two. I think, and he also had a bad breakdown after his fight. You know, if you saw
Yep.
that, just
I
because one
did
of his
catch that a
friends.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Did catch that a bit, and
You know.
I, just like Tyson Fury, kind of bringing some awareness to these mental issues. That's real cool of Patty to put that out there.
I mean, it happens like when you lose someone you're close to. It's kind of
Yeah,
like a whole big toll on there. I know what he's going through because in April I lost my brother, so
right.
I kind of know and how that can affect somebody and just it's tough,
I'm
you know.
sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good.
Yeah, the my last fight before the pandemic, so back in 2019, um, I literally lost my grandpa 2 weeks before I fought, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure, I guess you could say, of being there and spending the last few days with him. And the last thing he really said to me before he went into his kind of like induced coma was basically like, you know, he just apologized, saying he's going to try to make it to my fight, but no matter what happens with him, he wanted me to go out there and do what I love to do, and that he would be supporting me no matter what. So
Yeah.
that I didn't stop the fight. I went in there and still after everything, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a surreal feeling, and
It's all
but
good.
yeah, no, definitely. I've always just had a super supportive family, and we've always been talkers.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
always feel like I have somebody to turn to, but I definitely have some of those friends out there that, especially my male friends, that they like to keep things bottled up, and
Yeah.
um, I'm super implosive, so like if I don't talk about things, I just stack it on top of more
That's
stuff, and
that's the same thing with me and my brother. Me and my brother were so close to each other. I have another brother, but my brother passed. Me and him, he was like my best friend, and we talked about everything. He was there for me. High school, he was just that one guy. Even though he
You
was
go to.
8 years older than me, but he was still that guy. It was so
Yeah.
close. And it's just like, I mean, he's in a good place right now, and it just only strives me to do something better, and for myself and for him, because he wants me to do stuff for the better.
Yeah, man. You almost gotta live for two people, right?
Yep.
You gotta get out there and live your life not only for you but for him, and continue to press forward and push on, and
Mhm.
all cliche things to say. I swear I'm not a motivational speaker, but I swear I was asked about making the UFC and how did that happen, and it's like
Yeah.
it really is a cliche. I take it back to some basketball stuff. I really just like embodied kind of that Mamba mentality of every day you wake up, you go to work, and you do what you're supposed to do. And
Yep.
go and do my footwork. I go and do my cardio. I go and do my strength training, and and I don't think about much of anything besides just that moment and doing that. And so, but yeah, I was like, oh man, I'm really starting to sign one of these YouTube, inspirational speakers or something. I'm gonna have to do a TED talk or something,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
write a self-help book or something. Which I don't know if you've ever read self-help books, but they all kind of go back to the same kind of themes.
Yeah.
Get in your routine, stay within your routine, and um, basically make sure you put a good support system around you. And
Mhm. Yeah. Totally agree.
but so who else was on that card? I know Blades was on that card, and
Okay.
didn't his
I
opponent
can
get?
go off of everyone on that card. All
Yeah,
right. It was Charles Rosa versus Wood. It was Aspinall Blades. That was such a. I wish Aspinall didn't get hurt, just because he's wanted that fight for 3 months in his hometown, and he
mm-hmm.
gets like what, 14 seconds?
It was anticlimactic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't he tear his knee up?
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't get to see that. I actually didn't watch that card. I just watched the highlights, which is just
Yeah.
pathetic. I should went back and watched it, but
Yeah. And then there's who was below that? I'll go to it. Hold up. There was that. It was Rosa. Rosa doesn't really fight that much, and he got that fight against Wood, and he came up short, even though it was decision. So it's
yeah.
like
Was that
I
who was that? Juliana Rosa?
no Charles.
No. Charles. Okay.
Okay, let's go back to it.
We should do this. What fights are coming up?
Okay,
Should
hold up.
make some predictions on
Let's
these
do it.
fights coming.
All right, we got Santos versus Hill. Let's go off. Let's start it with the prelims.
There.
Make some predictions. All right, all the prelims are two sets of girls fighting. We got Jason Witt, welterweight, versus Josh Quinlan, and Josh is 5-0. Witt is 19-8. This might be a debut, maybe. I don't know much about either of these fighters,
I don't know either one of those guys.
but I'm gonna go with Jason Witt.
Jason Witt, and he's 19-8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go. I'll take the other guy on that, and the other guy is what?
5-0.
5-0. Okay, I'll take the 5-0 guy.
All right, next fight. I know one of the guys. Brian Battle, welterweight, versus Takashi Sato. 8-1 Brian Battle, 16-5 Takashi Sato.
So Battle is the UFC Ultimate Fighter winner, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Battle on this one.
Yeah, I think I have to. I don't know the other guy. I know Battle is he's kind of a gamer, right? He just kind of gets in there and He applies pressure. He pushes the pace.
Yep.
I have to go with Battle on that one.
All right. My guy, Terence Mckinney against Eric Gonzalez. I'm going McKinney no matter what, just because that's my guy. So
Okay.
I also
I'll go.
I think he's got it in the bag.
Yeah.
7-second KO in his UFC debut. I mean, and he beat his fair Siam, but he lost. He had Dober last fight, and he came up short, but he had most of that fight. That's the thing. He had most of that fight, and there was like a one slip that Drew Dober caught him in. Done.
Yeah.
So I think that McKinney's got this fight.
What did Dober? So did Dober finish him?
Yeah.
With a.
So he had Dober on the ground for most of the fight. And
Right.
he was about to finish Dober because he had a point where he knocked down Dober and couldn't finish the fight.
Okay.
But then Dober got him with a jab or something and finished that.
Flashed him.
Yeah. And I thought, I was just like, damn, McKinney had most of this fight. And Drew Dober won his last fight last weekend, right?
Yeah, he did.
So it's like, man, he could have had that. But I think he's going to come up with this win tomorrow. That's
for sure.
That's my bet. I don't know about you.
It sounds like a solid bet. And you said he had a 17-second knockout in his last one?
7.
7 second? That's hard to. Yeah, that's hard to. Drew Dober's a UFC vet, so if he came up just short of that one and then came back with a knockout, I'd say he.
No, I'm saying his first UFC debut against like a good fighter, he won in 7 seconds.
Oh, okay.
He bopped him right away, and just. That was
nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna say McKinney.
Okay, what we got next?
All right, we got Sam Alvey versus Michael. I cannot say this name, dude. Oleg Sijizek. I don't know. It's definitely not right, but
what's Michael's record?
16-5,
and
Alvey's 33-17.
Ooh. That's tough.
It is tough.
A couple of vets. I'm gonna go Alvey.
Yeah.
Just because I know more about Alvey than I do the other guy.
Same here. I'm gonna go for Alvey. All right, we're off to the main card.
Okay.
We got. Oof, I can't even see this. The other person's not here. All right, heavyweight. Augusto Sakai versus Sergey Spevak. Sakai is 15-4-1, and Sergey Spevak is 14-3.
Spevak.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for Spevak, yeah. And then we got women's flyweight, Brogan Walker versus Juliana Miller. Brogan Walker's 8-2, Juliana Miller's 3-1. I'm gonna go with Brogan Walker on that one. Just because I know the fighter, and I know her type of style, and I think she will definitely end up winning that one.
I honestly don't know either one of them. I'm kind of baffled. I'm gonna have to start watching more fights.
Okay, next one. Well, what is your thought for Walker Miller?
You're taking Walker. Let's go Miller. She seems like the underdog, being 3-1.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna check this other one. Lipsky. There's a fight. Ooh, wait. Okay. All right, next one we got Muhammad Uzman versus Zach Paga. 6-0 is Zach Paga, and 8-2 is Muhammad Uzman. Is that Usman's brother?
Is it?
I don't know.
Does Uzman have a brother?
I do
Is
not
it
know. I'm just
is it
throwing it
well
out. I'm just throwing it out there because it's the same last name.
is it welterweight?
Uh, heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Gotta go Usman, man.
Yeah, I'd say. I'm gonna go for the other fighter.
All
6
right.
0. Next one, welterweight. Vincente Luke. I'm probably gonna get this wrong.
Lupe.
Luque. Yeah, Luke. Yeah, Luque. Versus Jeff Neal.
Oh, Jeff Neal, man. He's got Jeff Neal, I think. Jeff Neal's
I
a southpaw, man. He's a southpaw too.
I don't know any of these fighters, so I'm gonna go with your input.
Yep, I
But
think Neal's gonna do it.
we got okay. This is the main card. We got Thiago Santos versus Jeremiah Hill. I'm gonna start this off saying Thiago Santos.
Diego Santos.
Yeah.
That's the guy, and this is at light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Santos.
Also, take in perspective that Jamal Hill is 10-1.
And okay, tell me, do you have Jamal Hill's record up, like as far as what he's won his fights via?
No,
Okay,
I just have the card pulled up.
no, that's fine.
I'm also just gonna say the Santos just because of all just the wins he's had.
Santos fought John Jones, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I wish I knew if his opponent was more of a grappler, because if he's more of a grappler, I would take him because Santos' ground game is not the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Hill.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go with Hill?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, shoot. All right. Should we move on to one more card?
Yeah, let's do one more main card.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to UFC Fight Night, Vera versus Cruz, the week after. All right.
Yeah. Here we go.
Main card. We got middleweight, Bruno Silva, 22-7, versus Gerald Mearshart, 34-15.
Oh yeah, Mearshart.
Yep.
I don't know Bruno, but I also saw Mearshart just get stomped by Hamzat Chimaev, and I don't think I can pick him because of that.
Yeah.
Let's go Bruno. Oh no.
All right. I'm going to go for Bruno too. All
Okay.
right. We got women's flyweight. I don't know any of these fighters. Nina Nunes, 10-7. Cynthia Calvillo, 9-4. I'm going to go for Calvillo just based on the record. And it'd probably be an upset, so I'm going to go for Calvillo.
Okay. I'll take the other one.
Okay. All right. Light heavyweight. We got Devin Clark, 13-6. And we got Azmat Murskanov, 11-0. And I'm going to go for Murskanov.
That's probably a good bet, man. Those Russians are tough.
Yeah. 11-0. Oh.
Yeah. That's a good bet, I think.
And then we got our last one. Vera versus Cruz. Cruz is 19-7. And Cruz is 24-3. And I'm going to go for Cruz on that one.
Oh, you are? Okay. The old man in me, the old fan, is wanting Cruz to win, but I also really do like Cheeto Vera. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's Marlon Vera.
yeah. Cheetos is
Nickname.
yeah. Marlon Vera. Yeah, it's one of those things. The heart says Cruz because I'm a fan, but my head says Vera because you know, Vera's a dog, man, and he's an up and comer, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that will be a close fight. I'm gonna take a look at the prelims real quick. Just see
It's
if
either
they're
gonna
good.
be it's either gonna be close. Or we're gonna watch Cruz finally fall off.
Uh huh. I'm actually gonna go off on this weight. I'm on this one. For the prelims, it's just one fight. Prelims of that fight night. Angela Hill's going against Lupita Godinez.
Yeah,
I think Godinez is gonna win.
really. You
Uh
got
huh.
her over Overkill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just because I know her, but I think she's. I want an underdog, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm always a sucker for the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think I gotta go Cruz because I think he is a little bit the underdog. He may not be like on betting odds an underdog, but you know,
We talking about the same fight?
you know,
We talking about the
Vera.
same fight?
No, I went back up to Vera versus
Okay.
Cruz. Yeah, I said I like myself a good underdog. I don't know I know Angela Hill,
Yeah.
and I've liked what I've seen from her in the past. I don't know the other girl, but I do
Mm-hmm.
like myself a good underdog, and that's why I think going with I think I gotta go
Angela
with Cruz.
Hill's 13-12.
She is.
Yeah.
How does she have that record and she's still in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, just not kind of throwing things off at women's. Usually, when you see their records, they're a little like 8-7, you know. But
Yeah.
I think 8-2. I think she's gonna end up winning that, even though Hill's a known fighter. I still think
Oh no,
she's got
100%.
this.
The record would definitely say I think the other girl's gonna win it. I didn't know Angela Hill was 13-12. I thought she was. Oh no.
Oh, geez, we got this is a good ass UFC 278, dude. That's
Which
a
one's that?
Kamara Uzman versus Leon Edwards.
Oh shit. That's
But
gonna be that one's
Uzman,
gonna be bad.
I don't think that Edwards is gonna win. I'm sorry. I don't think he's got a
Yeah.
chance. I also seeing when they both had the weigh-ins and Uzman staring them down. You can tell Edwards lost his. Like he looked away. I think he's gonna be scared against fighting Uzman. You know.
You're gonna have to give me at least give me the weekend to analyze this. I wanna kind of dig into that and see if I can't look it up.
Yeah. I mean, we can always run another podcast too.
Okay, for sure.
Does not matter. I do
Yeah,
as many as with. If anyone wants to go again, does not matter.
for sure. You have to give me some time to analyze that one because
That's a really good fight. You got Aldo fighting Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold.
oh no, Rockhold and Costa are gonna go.
Yeah, I think Rockhold should win that.
Dude, that man's jaw is glass, man.
Rockhold?
Yeah,
Oh really?
it
Damn.
is. It's pretty well shot. I mean, and that's coming from a Rockhold fan from when he had beat Weidman.
Oh, Romanov is fighting too.
Arm and
Oh.
guillotine. Arm and guillotine. He's got it. Oh, he switched to the
Here, one
Anaconda.
second. I gotta let my dog in.
Yeah, no worries. Why did he switch? He should have stayed on the arm in.
He had that.
Uh
Did Luke's fighting?
huh.
God. Yeah, no, you got some huge dog, and I got this little tiny thing.
Hey, it's all right. My dog thinks he's that size too.
Oh, this dog thinks she's like the shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's
Probably
always,
is. Uh, yeah, my guy thinks he's a lap dog.
Yep, this is what she is. She does
He's a
not
little
want to
butthurt
leave.
right now. He's ready for a walk.
Yeah, this dog can't walk at all. She just only sleeps. It's her
Oh
favorite
no.
thing.
Hey, I'm down with that.
Yeah. She always tries to sleep with me in my bed, but I have her sleep in that closet opening over there. And that's just kind of how she likes it, so.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, UFC 278. I forget they have prelims too. Overall, oh god, I don't think the prelims look good. Early prelims look pretty good. All right, don't do that.
When
Yeah,
is 278 supposed to be? Is that in October?
no, August 20th.
Oh, that's coming up. Holy crap. Okay. Well, I got something to look forward to.
I think any fight is something to look forward to. Just off of me being a fan. Just like
Yeah.
I know a lot of fighters. I don't really know any fighters that like I know personally that are fighting in 278. But actually I do. Early prelims. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean should be a good fight. Oh, I forgot Tuivasa's the week after too.
Oh, who's he
Gain.
fighting?
Gain.
Oh, and the winner of that will probably get a title shot.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good fight. And Marvin Vittori's fighting too against Whitaker.
Haven't they fought before?
I do not know.
No, I don't think they have. Izzy's fought Vittori.
Izzy's also fought Whitaker.
Yeah, twice.
Mm-hmm.
Whitaker just didn't kind of. I don't feel like he put his best foot forward. In the
They still
last.
went to. They still went to. This one doesn't even have prelims in it. Wow.
Oh wow.
Then UFC 279 has Diaz and Chimaev.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're throwing Diaz to the wolves, man.
Yeah, I think Diaz. I don't know. Then Johnny Walker's fighting Jamie Pickett. Nice.
Oh no, Johnny Walker would choose the nickname White.
Johnny Walker is fighting Ian Kutalaba.
He's lost 2 in a row, I think.
Johnny Walker?
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Wow, this guy only has one name. It looked pretty good. The fight looks pretty. Sanhagen's fighting. He has his own. Wow. Sanhagen has his own main event.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He's going
Yes.
against Son Yadon.
Ooh.
And then
I don't know that.
Vera versus
Makachev.
Yeah, thank you. I'm bad with long ass names.
That's all good.
That's how far
Oliveira's
it goes. I forgot that Jan's also fighting O'Malley.
O'Malley. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on O'Malley? It's alright. I've heard a lot of fighters just be like, just too cocky or kind of.
Yeah. That's the persona he's created for himself, right? The super ultra arrogant, cocky guy for sure.
You see the guy, he streams on Twitch too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think he has some like bond company. I don't know. Like I know he has a ton. He's always on stream like smoking. It's just I'm just like stunned. The man's just doing that and playing games and it's just like, jeez.
He's yeah, man. He's created this whole like persona and everything. I heard it. Got some guys talking about him today. He's just like the ultra businessman, and it's just kind of baffling to me. Like I didn't expect him to take this big of a test this early the way he was talking, but so I'm kind of hyped for it. I'm kind of stoked to see him actually have to go against somebody that's legit. not that his last opponent wasn't, but that kind of ended anticlimactic, climactically. Like, he fought Rob Font, didn't he? Is that who it was? No,
Who,
wasn't it?
O'Malley?
Yeah, O'Malley. His last opponent, that
Pedro Munez.
Pedro Munoz. I was expecting a lot more. That was like his first real step up.
I thought like he had the fight in the bag, but he got the eye poke and just. But
Munoz didn't seem to want to bring it to him. He seemed to want to sit out there at the end of the jab and the cross. But I can't wait, man. Peter Yan, he's one of my favorite fighters.
Oh my god, yeah, Peter Yan, phenomenal fighter.
He's not gonna hold back on him.
Yeah, the thing about O'Malley is he's kind of in his own mind saying like, "Oh, I haven't lost a fight," even though he has.
Yeah, he lost to Vera.
Yeah, and he doesn't like. He still thinks he wins. Like you see his Instagram, 16-0.
Yeah.
He does not. In his mind, he thinks that he's some guy who's undefeated when he's not.
And all I can say to that is, I mean, the lies we tell ourselves, right? I guess it's still working for him. He's telling himself he's undefeated, and he's living a lifestyle like he's undefeated, and he's and
yeah.
I guess it works for him. Whatever, it's not the way I would do things, but
So
reach their own.
If you want to wrap it up, it's totally fine. We've been going for an hour and 30, so.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here and get some food.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, it's 7:30 your time.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. It was awesome having you on. I really appreciate it. If you ever want to do another one, totally up for it. You just
for sure, man. Thank you for helping me with this first one and getting nerves out of the way. It was really cool talking to you.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't think I'd be able to flow this long, but
dude,
it works
you did
out.
a phenomenal job with it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome having you on. If you ever want to do another one with the whole fight predictions, I think that'd be a whole fun toll. But just to let you know, I'm gonna have an Insta post go up for you. And then a YouTube video will be going out. I will send you the video before, and you tell me how you like it. Then I post it. So
cool, man.
It also gets you out there on 3 platforms.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
I'll share that stuff, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you again. We'll talk soon. We got to go over those predictions here in a couple weeks, and
of course,
I'll talk about it.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.